Hello and welcome to CoreTV News at 7. I am Frank Omalape and here are some of the stories we're finding now. The police say they are still studying the threat by some ex-militants to declare war on the nation if President Goodluck Jonathan loses the forthcoming general elections. The force stated that it will take appropriate action at the right time. When asked what the police plan to do about the threat, the force public relations officer Emmanuel Ojukwu says the police were still studying the situation and will take appropriate steps. Ojukwu, however, added that there is no report before the police on the threat. The federal government had condemned the inflammatory statement by the words warlords, saying there was no basis for the beating of war drums by the ex-militants. Minister of Interior Abba Moro described the threat by the warlords as reprehensible, stressing that Jonathan had said he would concede defeat if he loses the presidential election. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party has warned some ex-militants who have been threatening violence if President Goodluck Jonathan loses the February 14 presidential election to stop doing so. The party wants them to realize the president remains the president of all Nigerians irrespective of their tribe, region, religious belief. National Publicity Secretary of the party, Olisametu, stated this in an interview with a group of journalists in Abuja on Friday. Among those who have made such threats were former leaders of Movement for the Emancipation of Niger Delta, Ekpemi Polo, and the leader of the Niger Delta People's Volunteer Force, the Kobo Asari. But Metu, in his reaction, says such comments by the party supporters must stop, warning that the president, who is an Ijaw like these ex-militants, must not be labeled as the president of the Ijaws. He also called on those campaigning for the party and the president to be decent in their languages, adding that the founders of the party were men of honor. On the pelting of the president with stones and statue of pure water in some northern states, Metu said that should not be used as a sign of rejection of the PDP presidential candidate. And as the presidential election gradually draws near, the campaign train of the All Progressive Congress for the election came to Lagos with a promise by the presidential candidate of the party, Muhammadu Buhari, to make education the cornerstone of his administration. He also promised to fight corruption and insecurity. Hazim Kasali's report is presented from our studios.
With the stadium filled to capacity and the surrounding areas also not left out, the presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari, his running mate Yemi Osibanjo, and other APC leaders had a hectic time getting into the Teslim Balogun Stadium, venue of the rally. And with the crowd also defying the drenching rain to converge for the rally, the stage was set for the event in the party's spiritual home of Lagos. But when it was time to talk, host Governor Babatunde Fashola took the stage first. He says the federal government has failed in its promises to Lagos and Nigerians.
In 2011, President Jonathan came to Lagos and promised that he will construct the road leading to the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. Dear people of Lagos, has that not been constructed?
Others who took to the stage to talk about the APC's presidential bid say the time for change to save Nigeria and preserve its unity is now.
But within the 6 years of his presidency, the whole chunk of Nigeria is out of Nigeria. Do you want that to continue? I think the challenge for Nigeria today is about creating jobs. Those jobs will not be created through token policies. We need governments that will put in place a coherent industrial policy. When I become president in 2015, I will do something. Call him. His name is I will do president.
National leader of the party, Bola Tinubu, while speaking to the crowd, says there is never a leader for all times, but a leader for the time. He says the story of Nigeria is comparable to many other nations who have faced similar challenges. He ordered that Buhari is the man to stop the rot that has set in and the failure of government at the federal level.
We face a lot of challenges. Some of them, they have forgotten that when South Africa was in Great Dilemma, I was about to disintegrate. Who will they call? Mandela of 70 more years.
With the stage set for him to speak, Buhari was preceded by his running mate Yemi Osibanjo, flanked by his wife. Buhari says Nigeria will be great and that his government will bequeath a legacy of education to the Nigerian youths.
Afraid. Some people are afraid. The only reason why they are afraid is because they fear that corruption will end. Whatever we are able to say, we will put it mostly in education. Build schools, equip them, get qualified teachers. No nation can give its people anything better than education. When people are educated, there is a level of incompetence of government or anybody they will accept.
The rally also witnessed the presence of major Nollywood stars who endorsed the candidature of Buhari and also thrilled the crowd.
The presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, says his party has superior programs to end the current spate of insecurity, corruption, and pave the way for massive infrastructural development of Nigeria if elected. Buhari stated this at the palace of the Oba of Lagos, Rewan Babatunde Akeolu. Abiola Luwale's report is presented from our studios.
As the general elections fast approaches, politicians have been moving around the country to sell their programs to the electorate. Not let out of the train is the All Progressive Congress presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari, and other stalwarts of the party will pay the courtesy visit to the palace of the Lagos monarch Oba Rewan Akeolu the first before heading to Teslim Balogun venue of party's presidential rally in the state. Briefing the monarch on the programs of the party, Buhari and the national leader of the party, Bola Tinubu, highlighted insecurity, corruption as the major problems of the country. Buhari promised that if elected, his party will put in place structures that will put the country back on the path of development.
What APC has realized, which we have all experienced in the last 16 years, the consequences of which is insecurity, destruction of the economy, and unparalleled corruption, which has virtually denied Nigerian resources to improve other social services like education, healthcare, and do the infrastructure that help to get industries back, employment, goods and services.
Nigeria needs the rescue. We need your prayer and the prayer of our ancestors. Thank you for accepting us.
In his reaction, the Lagos Oba called on the politicians to ensure peaceful election as they cautioned security agents against being partisan.
The posting of police officers should not be made any political issue. Posting comes normally. Lagos is not Port Harcourt. You people should not have any fear. And the man that did it in Port Harcourt is able and capable to do what he should do. But I request all of you to cooperate fully with the army, the police, all the security agencies. None of them will ever, wallahi ta'ala is more like they dare not. It is then I will show them who Obakelu is, who Gaidun Goro is. Allah. Some people have been saying it is not so. It is that time they will know it is so.
The visit ended in a closed-door meeting with leadership of the party and Oba.
The People's Democratic Party has challenged the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, to a debate on any national or international media outfit. This was after APC pulled out of a debate organized by the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, citing bias of the lead organizers. Spokesman for PDP's Presidential Campaign Council, Femi Fani-Kayode, in a statement says the opposition party was only shielding its candidate from displaying his intellectual laziness to Nigerians and the rest of the world. He claimed APC leaders recently confided in an international channel that they are only confident in the ability of his running mate, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. The PDP spokesman maintained the ruling party is convinced General Muhammadu Buhari does not have what it takes to sustain a coherent argument on issues of governance and development. Oba of Lagos Riwan Akiolu has once again voiced his belief that the Lagos APC governorship candidate Akinwumi Ambode will be the next governor of the state. Akiolu, who stated this at his palace, says every eminent resident of Lagos have all agreed to give the needed support to Ambode to ensure his victory at the polls based on what he calls the ability of APC's standard bearer to build on the development Lagos has recorded since 1999.
My very self, with other right-thinking nobles, imams, bishops, and top prominent citizens of Lagos, pick Akinwumi, and inshallah, he will be the next governor of this state to improve on what my son has done. But in the incoming dispensation, Lagos will never lag behind.
The Catholic Charitas Foundation of Nigeria, CCFN, has expressed fears over a possible outbreak of violence in the forthcoming general elections, with a call on citizens in volatile places to stockpile foods and other essential commodities in case of shops are not open for some days. The CCFN, an organ of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, also advised churches and mosques to set aside some funds to deal with a possible humanitarian crisis that may arise after the polls. The Executive Secretary of CCFN and National Secretary of Justice, Development and Peace Committee, Evaristos Basi, will disclose this during a press briefing in Abuja. Also advised Nigerians to be prepared to mitigate the impact of possible outbreak of violence during the elections. Basi recalled the several forms of humanitarian crisis already brewing in Nigeria, including the silent Sahel food crisis affecting the food and nutrition needs of Sokoto, Kebbi, and Yobe State, and the post-flood humanitarian crisis, with many still to recover their livelihoods even after billions of naira were collected. Meanwhile, the Catholic Church says it will deploy 4,889 observers in 23 states of the country, who will stay back to observe the elections till the end. You're watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more stories after this time out. Join us again.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
You're still watching CoreTV News at 7, broadcasting live from our studios in Lagos, Nigeria. For more information on our news and other programs, like our Facebook page, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can as well follow at CoreTV News NG. And our YouTube page is youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space, then news. And now the Bauchi State Governor Isaiah Guda has accused the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Bala Mohammed, of being the sponsor of the youth who pelted stones on President Goodluck Jonathan in Bauchi. Yuguda made this known through his Deputy Chief Press Secretary Dan Lami Baban Tanko, saying security reports indicated The attack on Jonathan Convoy at the Bauchi People's Democratic Party presidential rally was masterminded by Abuja politicians. The FCT minister acted in a manner that offended the northern culture of respecting the elders, and he has betrayed Yuguda as a mentor. Asks if the feud between the governor and the minister will not mar the chances of PDP in the general elections. Dalami says the PDP in Bauchi belongs to Yuguda. A survey of eligible voters in Kaduna indicates a 26% gap between the two leading governorship candidates in the state. The poll conducted by NOI Polls for Anna Foundation, a non-governmental organization, shows that the candidate of the Progressive Congress, Nasir El-Rufai, is leading others with 46%, with Governor Mukhtar Yero on 20%. It, however, noted that 23% of respondents have not made up their minds on who to vote for and wouldn't be crucial to the outcome of the election. The survey results released in Abuja also showed youth between the ages of 18 and 29 years and the working class between 30 and 60 are more inclined to vote for El-Rufai, while the senior citizens will fall in the age category of 61 opted to back Governor Yero. Less than 3 weeks to the general elections, the Kwara State chapter of the People's Democratic Party has kicked off its gubernatorial campaign in Moro, Kwara North. The campaign, graced by the Niger State candidate Umaru Nasco, had Simeon Ajibola promised the people of Kwara an all-inclusive government if voted into power. Correspondent Rashid tells us more in this report.
The race to Kwara Government House is getting more interesting, with the opposition party PDP kicking off its campaign in Moro local government area of the state. In his address, the chairman of the Kwara State PDP, Iyola Oyedepo, laments what he tagged as politics of godfatherism in practice in the state, as he charged the people of Kwara to vote PDP as the party promises Kwara workers maximum working benefits and local government autonomy.
Workers in Kwara State will smile because for a long time, workers of Kwara State, they are the least paid in this country. Under our own government, it will not be so. Local government fund will no more be deducted because our governor has told us repeatedly that it's not going to touch the local government fund. Therefore, we want everybody to go and work very hard so that by the 14th day of February, Jonathan and Sambo will make it.
In his goodwill message, the Niger State governorship candidate Umar Nasco urged people of Kwara to maintain peace and allow peaceful conduct of the election.
We must be disciplined in our conduct. We must not allow ourselves to be provoked on the day of election, as this is only a sign of losers. We are not losers. We are winners. We are only setting out to regain a mandate which is rightly ours. And it's my earnest prayer that on the 29th of May, inshallah, because God, the Almighty, has already accepted our prayers.
The PDP governorship candidate Ajibola Simeon, on his part, vows to bring new development to the people of Kwara if elected as governor.
We bring in development, education, and equitable distribution of resources all over the health challenges, water supply, and infrastructural provisions like in areas of road network, both in urban and rural areas.
Brothers and sisters, we are for you and you are for us. Vote for us, we keep our promises. You know me very well. Even when I was there, I keep my promises. I discharge my duties without any fear of favor.
As the campaign train moves to another local government, the February 28th governorship election in Kwara is no doubt going to be what the people are looking out for. Rashid, CoreTV News, Moro.
Away from politics now, Nigeria's military authorities say top of issues of the multinational joint task force have been quizzed on the loss of the military base in Baga, alongside the large consignment of arms and ammunition attached to the troops. Defense headquarters say through a series of tweets that the action is a normal military procedure in major operations. The military added that the essence is to extract and collate relevant information for subsequent missions. It also noted the exercise could lead to or determine appropriate disciplinary action for any of the officers found capable. Meanwhile, the new spokesman of the Nigerian Army has formally assumed office few days after his appointment. Colonel Sani Usman is the acting director of Army Public Relations following the appointment of Brigadier General Olajide Laleye as the commander of the 4th Brigade in Benin City. The former Army spokesman is convinced the new man will excel in the face of the current security challenges.
Precisely on the 7th January 2014, I took over the mantle of leadership as the Director of Army Public Relations, and it has been a very challenging and rewarding experience. I therefore most humbly thank the Chief of Army Staff for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to serve and to contribute my little quota in the development of the Nigerian Army in particular, and our dear nation, Nigeria, in general. May I also appreciate the immense contribution of all the officers, men and staff of the Directorate who have worked tirelessly with me during the past 1 year in achieving the tremendous successes recorded by the Directorate. Indeed, you are a family which I am proud to belong. To the distinguished members of the 4th Estate of the Realm, that is the gentlemen of the press, I cannot appreciate you enough for your unflinching support and professional conduct throughout my tenure as Director of Army Public Relations.
I'm conscious of the expectations and the demands of the Office of the Acting Director of Army Public Relations, and I promise to do my best and to be loyal and dedicated.
The African Union says it has agreed to the creation of a regional force to deal with the threats posed by the Boko Haram insurgents to Nigeria and its neighbors. The AU rose at the end of its meeting in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia with a resolve to put in place a regional force to tackle the Boko Haram insurgents that has swept through the northeastern part of Nigeria and is currently threatening Cameroon and Chad. AU's Commissioner for Peace and Security, Ismail Chaigui, says a meeting will be held in Cameroon in a few days to put finishing touches to the move before seeking a UN resolution, a move that has been backed by UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon.
Deploy a multinational force to deal with Boko Haram. There will be a meeting in few days in Cameroon in order to finalize the concept of that operation. And thereafter, we will go to New York to seek a resolution under Chapter 7 so that we can really make this force operational on the ground as soon as possible.
You're still watching the CoreTV News at 7. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more stories. Do join us again.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. And Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
And in sports now, Serena Williams won her 19th Grand Slam title and also maintained her unbeaten run in 6 Australian Open finals and extended her decade-long domination of Maria Sharapova with a 6-3, 7-6, 5 win earlier on Saturday. After celebrating prematurely on her third match point, letting her racket go after 7, what she thought was an ace, but learning that it was a late, top-ranked, Williams took a deep breath and fired another ace, her 15 of the set and 18 of the match to seal it. But this time, the celebration was real. She jumped around like a little child, bouncing up and down before shaking hands with Sharapova at the net. Well, and that's a wrap on CoreTV News at 7. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. I'll see you again.